Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where people put themselves on the spot, waiting for your judgment. Sit comfortably and listen carefully, as you're about to hear today's cases. You hold the hammer and you apply the law. Let us have your verdict down in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for wanting to give up my son after discovering he isn't mine? The situation is nothing short of a clusterfuck. I'm angry, depressed, and sad, and I don't know what to do. Throwaway. I, 32M, am shattered and don't know where to turn. My wife passed away last month, only 7 months after giving birth to our son. She developed peripartum cardiomyopathy, a rare and severe form of heart failure that can occur in the months following childbirth. Despite the doctor's best efforts, she didn't survive. Losing her so suddenly has left me heartbroken and in a state of constant grief. 3 weeks ago, my wife's best friend came over to visit. She was visibly nervous and eventually told me she had something sensitive to share. After some hesitation, she revealed that my wife had confided in her that she'd been unfaithful around the time our son was conceived and that there was a chance he might not be mine. I was stunned and angry. My wife's best friend was telling me this only weeks after my wife's death, and it felt like an attempt to tarnish her memory. I couldn't believe it. I told her to leave and not to come back, convinced she was lying or trying to shift blame onto me somehow. The whole thing felt like a betrayal, and I tried to push the thought out of my mind. But once the idea was planted, it wouldn't go away. I kept wondering, what if she was telling the truth? After days of tormenting myself with this possibility, I decided to get a DNA test. It wasn't an easy decision. I felt guilty for even considering it, but I needed closure. Yesterday, the results came back. My worst fears were confirmed. My son isn't biologically mine. Now, I'm in turmoil. I loved my wife, and I wanted to believe our son was a piece of her and me together. But knowing he's not biologically mine has left me feeling lost and betrayed. I keep looking at him, trying to feel the same bond, but the pain of my wife's infidelity is so fresh, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to move past it. I feel awful even considering it, but I don't know if I can raise him on my own. The betrayal I feel is overwhelming, and I don't know if I'm capable of giving him the love and care he deserves. It's breaking my heart, and I feel like a failure, but I also feel like I'm not equipped to give him the life he deserves. Am I the bad person? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for telling my stepdaughter that she can leave if she hates us so much? My 39F husband, 40M, has a daughter, 18F, from his previous marriage, Eliana. She has always been mean towards me and her little sister, 10F. Eliana's mom died while giving birth, so it has always been her and her dad, so I assumed that maybe it was because she feels like we took him from her. I tried my best to make her feel better, but that never happened and things got worse when her little sister was born. She says horrible things about my looks and my body, which hurts because I am very insecure when it comes to my body. She doesn't respect anything I or her father say or any of the rules in the house. She steals stuff from the house. She always finds ways to annoy me, and oh boy does she like to say I hate you. She treats her little sister like poop and doesn't want a relationship with her. She doesn't even answer her phone anymore. Me and my husband have talked about her behavior and tried everything to make it stop, but she gets worse everything we try to fix things as a family. I have suggested therapy, but she doesn't want to do it. She acts like a child. Well, 2 weeks ago was her father's 40th birthday, and we had a little surprise party for him. I asked her if she could stay and decorate with us, but she refused, saying that she will go out with her friends. Even when the party started, I called her multiple times to tell her that the party started, but she didn't answer, and she came home after the cake was cut and people were already leaving. She was angry at me for celebrating without her, but I told her that I did try to call her and that she didn't answer. She started accusing me of not wanting her and called me terrible names and said that she hates every one of us, and I told her that if she hates us so much then she can leave. She left the house and hasn't returned yet. We have been calling all of our relatives, but she is not there. What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for telling my sister she's not allowed to bring her homemade food to Thanksgiving because her cooking is ruining the meal? Every year, our family does a big Thanksgiving dinner, and we all typically bring a dish or two. My sister, who's a lovely person in every other way, insists on cooking something homemade every time. The issue? She's not a great cook. And I don't mean just not great, I mean she has somehow managed to turn classic dishes into borderline inedible creations. For context, last Thanksgiving, she showed up with her special recipe stuffing that was over-seasoned with random spices like cinnamon and cardamom. It was dry, and the flavors were confusing and totally off for stuffing. Only one person took a small bite, and the rest went untouched. Another year, she brought a green bean casserole that had some kind of strange, chewy texture. She later admitted she used coconut milk and almond flour to experiment. No one wanted seconds of that either. This year, I'm hosting Thanksgiving. Since I'm responsible for putting it all together, I wanted to keep the menu consistent so that people could actually enjoy a cohesive meal. I thought I'd avoid drama by asking her to bring non-food items instead, like wine, soda, or even some flowers. I explained to her, very kindly, I thought, that I just wanted to make things easy and streamlined, and I'd handle the main dishes. But she didn't take it well. She got offended and told me I was being controlling and shutting her out of the family gathering. She then accused me of making her feel inadequate and said that Thanksgiving is about everyone contributing, not me deciding what's acceptable. I told her that everyone appreciates her effort, but that she could contribute in other ways and still be part of it. She doubled down and said she's bringing her famous green bean casserole whether I like it or not. Now, my mom and a couple of other family members have chimed in, saying I should just let her bring whatever she wants because it's Thanksgiving and it's the thought that counts. They're acting like I'm committing some huge offense by wanting the food to be enjoyable for everyone and not have random experimental dishes that no one will eat. But I feel like I'm just trying to keep the meal enjoyable and, frankly, edible. I don't think it's wrong to want guests to actually enjoy the food, especially since I'm putting in a lot of effort to host. Am I really being unreasonable here? Am I the bad person? Can't wrap my head around that story. What do you think? Who is in the wrong there? Let us know down in the comments section, and let's move on to our last case. Case 4. Am I the bad person for telling my homeless friend and her husband they can't stay with me? I, 30F, bought a 3-bed/1-bath house that I own alone. My friend and her husband, 26F and 25M, decided they wanted to move a few states away. They had been talking about it for 1 to 2 years. I kept telling them that they needed to plan financially and have some type of support system before they moved. A few years later they tell me, and the rest of their family, that they're moving in less than 3 months. At that time they had a 3-year-old and a baby on the way. They moved and were sustaining themselves for a month or two, then they had the baby. Mom didn't work and husband went on FMLA, and that put them way behind on rent. I flew down there for a week to help them pack and move back. When I got there, their apartment was disgusting. Anytime they changed a diaper, they'd leave it wherever the child was changed. Spills? They'd leave them. Food? Left out even if they were perishable items. Kids vomited or a diaper leaked. They would pick up a majority of the vomit, but that's as far as it went. They had ants because of this. They eventually got evicted after only being there for 5 months. The last month they lived, their mom found a full-time job. In passing, I asked if she was able to successfully transfer her job to where we live. She responded, no, I was scheduled to work a few days ago and didn't go. Mom has a long history of doing this and she laughs about it. Fast forward, they moved back and they initially moved in with their family member. Family member gets evicted, so obviously they do too. Now they have nowhere to live, and they asked me if all 4 of them could live with me since I have 2 unused bedrooms, and I told them no. Am I the bad person? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.